She is one of the hardest-working members of the British royal family. She has attended more royal engagements than almost any other royal in modern history. She has ridden Olympic horses, championed countless charities, and crossed continents in the name of duty, all without so much as a single public complaint. And yet, for all the grandeur and ceremony that surrounds her life, there is one place where Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, refuses to play by the rules: the dining table. Today, we are pulling back the velvet curtain on the royal kitchen and revealing the 10 foods and food habits that Princess Anne simply will not tolerate. Some of these will surprise you greatly, some will make you laugh out loud, and one or two might actually make you admire her even more than you already do. So whether you are a lifelong royal watcher, a food lover, or simply someone who appreciates a woman who knows exactly what she wants and what she absolutely does not, this one is for you. Let us count them down from number 10 all the way to number 1. And trust us, by the end of this, you will never look at a royal banquet the same way again. Number 10. Al Squall. Let us kick things off with a royal secret that surprises most people the first time they hear it. Picture a state banquet at Buckingham Palace. The crystal glasses are gleaming, the footmen are poised, the champagne is being poured. And Princess Anne, she is quietly, calmly passing on the lot of it. That is right, Princess Anne is famously and fully teetotal. She does not drink. In a world where royal toasts are practically a ceremonial obligation, where champagne marks every milestone from weddings to ship launchings, the Princess Royal prefers to sit out the ritual entirely. For a family so closely associated with the finest wines in the world, this is no small statement. It is, in a very Anne sort of way, a quiet act of total independence. And what does she choose to celebrate with instead? According to those who know her best, her birthday is reportedly marked not with fine wine or vintage champagne, but with a glass of barley water and a modest cake, apparently from the Mr. Kipling range, utterly unpretentious, completely her own. That tells you everything you need to know about the woman. Number 9. Celery. You might think celery is so humble and inoffensive that nobody could possibly take strong exception to it. It is, after all, mostly water. It barely has a flavor. It just sits there on a crudité platter, looking harmless. But Princess Anne is not just anybody, and she has made it abundantly clear over the years that celery is one food she genuinely dislikes and refuses to eat. Whether it is the stringy, fibrous texture, the slightly bitter aftertaste, or simply the faint but unmistakable smell that gets into everything around it, this crunchy green vegetable is firmly off her menu. Any royal chef preparing a dish in her honor would know better than to let even a single stalk of celery get anywhere near her plate. It would be an unthinkable oversight. It might seem like a small thing, but it speaks to a broader truth about the Princess Royal. She is a woman of deeply held preferences, and she's never felt the need to pretend otherwise just because it might be more polite to smile and eat what is put in front of her. Number 8. Rich and overly indulgent food. Princess Anne has never been a woman of excess in any area of her life, and that philosophy extends directly to her plate. She does not eat anything too rich in flavor, and the people who have cooked for her and dined with her over the decades confirm that she has always strongly favored simplicity over decadence. While other royals might be perfectly happy to sit through elaborate 12-course tasting menus with their foie gras amuse-bouches and their truffle-laden sauces and their gold-dusted petit fours, Princess Anne has no time for any of it. She wants clean, honest food, simple ingredients, simply prepared. She has been described by people in her circle as someone who would far rather eat a good, well-cooked potato than an unnecessarily complicated dish that has been drizzled and deconstructed to within an inch of its life. Her approach to eating is, in many ways, a reflection of her broader character: practical, unpretentious, and utterly uninterested in impressing anyone. Number 7. Elaborate starters and multi-coursed meals. Here is a particularly fascinating one for any aspiring chef who might be dreaming of the day they get to cook for royalty. If Princess Anne is on the guest list, you can forget the elaborate starter course entirely. She used to serve starters at her own dinner parties at Gatcombe Park, her private estate in Gloucestershire, but by her own account she now regards them as a complete and utter waste of time. Think about what that means for a moment. In most formal dining settings, the starter is considered the opportunity to set the tone, to show your guests a little creativity, a little hospitality, a little culinary flair. But Anne has looked at that tradition, weighed it up, and decided it simply is not worth the bother. It has even been reported that she has been known to make clear to dinner guests that she expects the evening to wrap up efficiently. In her own words, one wants everyone out of the house by 9:15 in the evening at the latest. There are horses to see to in the morning, after all. Number 6, garlic. This is one of the great unwritten rules of the royal kitchen, and it is one that has been observed for generations. Garlic, that most beloved and versatile of ingredients, is simply not welcome at the palace table. The late Queen Elizabeth II reportedly had such a strong aversion to garlic that it was effectively banned from the palace kitchen entirely and was never put on the menu at any royal event. And Princess Anne, who grew up eating in those same royal kitchens, carries on this very regal aversion with complete conviction. The reasoning, when you think about it, makes perfect sense for someone in her position. The Princess Royal shakes hundreds of hands every week. She stands close to dignitaries, greets members of the public, attends ceremonies and events where she is face to face with people for hours at a time. The last thing any of them or she needs is for garlic to become part of the experience. For a woman who is always inescapably on duty from morning to night, garlic represents a sensory risk that is simply not worth taking under any circumstances. So it is out, completely, permanently, and without any debate whatsoever. Number 5, fancy first-class food while traveling. This one is perhaps the most delightful entry on our entire list because it so perfectly captures who Princess Anne is as a person. You would think, would you not, that a senior member of the royal family traveling on royal business would demand the finest cuisine that money can buy at 30,000 feet. You would think there would be requests for smoked salmon, fine wine, perhaps a beautifully presented beef Wellington. You would be wrong. According to her former personal pilot, Princess Anne has an absolute favorite meal for long journeys, and it is tinned pies, steak and kidney, or chicken and leek, served with tinned vegetables and potatoes. That is it. And the reason she loves it? According to the pilot, she described it as a pleasant change from all the poncy first-class food. A princess royal, eating tinned pies, at 30,000 feet, and genuinely happily preferring it to anything else on offer. If that does not make you love her, nothing will. Number 4, sweet tears and desters. While the late Queen Elizabeth II was famously devoted to her chocolate mousse and her chocolate biscuit cake, reportedly her all-time favorite, her daughter takes a dramatically different approach to the sweet course. Princess Anne exercises remarkable discipline when it comes to sugar and sweet treats, consistently choosing to forego them in favor of healthier alternatives. She has been known to snack on fresh fruit throughout the day rather than reach for anything sugary or indulgent, and her slim, athletic figure is a testament to a lifetime of clean, purposeful eating rather than dieting or restriction. It is simply how she prefers to live. And when dessert time comes at her own dinner parties? Well, here is where it gets wonderfully eccentric. Rather than offering a beautifully made pudding or a carefully assembled cheese board, Princess Anne has been known to hand her departing guests a chalk ice to eat on their way home in the car, not presented at the table, not served on fine china. Just, here is a chalk ice, off you go, good night. It is the royal equivalent of sending your guests home with a party bag. Number 3, lunch. Now we arrive at something that is not so much a food as an entire meal, and Princess Anne has largely decided she does not need it. Lunch, for the Princess Royal, is a negotiable concept at best. When her schedule is full, which it almost always is, she is known to skip the midday meal entirely, simply snacking on fruit as she moves through the day and saving her appetite for the evening. This is not an accident. This is a philosophy. Princess Anne has been quoted more than once expressing the view that meal times take up time that could more productively be spent on other things. For a woman who reportedly once complained about having to attend too many dinners as part of her royal duties, the idea of sitting down 3 times a day for a proper meal probably strikes her as a positively extravagant use of daylight hours. She eats to fuel herself. She eats to sustain herself. But she absolutely does not eat for entertainment, for pleasure, or because the clock says it is noon. If there is work to be done, the fruit bowl will do just fine. It is a habit born not of vanity or dieting, but of pure unapologetic efficiency, and it has served her extraordinarily well across 8 decades of relentless public service. One suspects she has never once regretted a skipped lunch in her life. Number 2, fancy, foozy, elaborate food of any kind. If you've been following along and noticing a theme, then you are paying attention. Because at number 2, we arrive at the grand unified theory of Princess Anne's entire approach to eating. She does not like fancy food. She does not trust it. She does not see the point of it. And she has absolutely no intention of pretending otherwise, regardless of who is at her table. At her home at Gatcombe Park, dinner guests are not met with an ambitious tasting menu or a carefully curated wine pairing experience. They are met with whatever could be defrosted the quickest and the reliable rotation of boiled potatoes served with either peas or green beans. That is the repertoire. That is the offering. And if you are lucky enough to be invited, you had better appreciate it for what it is, a genuine, unpretentious meal from a woman who values your company over any culinary performance. People who know her well have described her as someone who distrusts fancy talk and fancy food in equal measure. There is something wonderfully consistent about that. In a world full of people who use elaborate meals as a form of social performance, Princess Anne refuses to play the game. What you see is what you get, and what you get is boiled potatoes. Number 1. Anything that takes too long or wastes her time. The food that Princess Anne most refuses to entertain is not a specific ingredient or a particular dish. It is anything at all that demands more of her time than she is willing to give it. Princess Anne is, by all accounts, not a big eater. Her trim, active frame is testament to a lifetime in which food has never been a primary source of pleasure or comfort, but simply a practical requirement of a working life lived at extraordinary pace. She has been noted to regard long, drawn-out meals with barely concealed impatience. She has made clear that she expects her dinner guests to be gone by 9:15. She skips lunch. She eats tin pies on aeroplanes. She hands people chossices and says good night. Every single item on this list points to the same essential truth about the Princess Royal. She is a woman who has decided on her own terms that her time is finite and precious, and that she will not spend more of it than is absolutely necessary sitting at a table. There are people to see, causes to champion, horses to ride, and a country to serve. And none of that is going to wait for a 6-course banquet to conclude. In a world where power and status are so often performed through extravagance, through the finest wines, the rarest ingredients, the most theatrical presentations, Princess Anne's relationship with food is her quiet, consistent, entirely personal act of rebellion. She eats what she likes, when she likes, in the amount she likes, and she has done so for 8 decades without apology. And honestly, that might be the most royal thing about her of all. And there you have it. 10 foods and food habits that Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, simply refuses to indulge. From celery to garlic, from multi-course dinners to lunch itself, from rich sauces to anything that cannot be defrosted quickly enough. This is a woman who eats entirely on her own terms and always has. She is, in the truest sense, one of a kind, a woman who has served her country with unmatched dedication, who has never sought the spotlight for its own sake, and who has decided, firmly and finally, that her dining table is the one place where no ceremony, no tradition, and no expectation has any power over her whatsoever. We would not have her any other way. If you enjoyed this deep dive into royal kitchen secrets, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a royal revelation. We have got plenty more secrets from behind the palace walls coming your way very soon, and believe us when we say, the royal kitchen has many more surprises left to give. Until next time, stay curious, stay fascinated by royals, and we will see you in the very next one. Take care now.